Today, we're thrilled to host two remarkable athletes and men on our show. First, we welcome the legendary Bobby Gunn.
Thank you, guys.
A titan of both professional and bare-knuckle boxing. Bobby has an impressive professional boxing record of 32 fights with 23 wins and an unmatched, unparalleled bare-knuckle record of 73 wins with no losses. He has made history at the first sanctioned bare-knuckle boxing match in history since 1889. He has fought in varied locations such as desert outposts, in the heart of Manhattan, and even into the dens of Boston mobsters, complete with caged lion.
Wow.
In the words of Tyson Fury himself, there's only one champion of bare-knuckle boxing. That's Bobby Gunn.
My buddy, thank you, my pal. Thank you much. Tyson Fury is a good pal of mine. My old buddy Tyson. Listen, stuff that I was born into, but I tell you something too, what I did with nobody else done. I was the only bare-knuckle fighter to be, as a former cruiserweight boxer world champion. Also, I won the IBA title, and I won the bare-knuckle. So I'm the only fighter in history to be a boxing world champion and a bare-knuckle champion.
Welcome to the Talk About Purpose podcast. I'm Matthew Ewing.
I'm Brian Harper.
I'm Frank Curry.
Badass. That is incredible.
Well, Bobby, I gotta say one thing. I would never fucking cross paths with you, brother. I would open every door for you, shake your hands, put coats down in the rain for you so you don't get your feet wet. Whatever it is, brother, you're an awesome human being. Very happy that you're here. I can't believe this.
Thank you. I'm honored to be on here today, and I mean that. Cody got me on this. I want to tell you something. When I've seen Cody, I seen myself when I was younger. And I zoned right into him, and we both hit it right off. And I'll be honest with you, I worked this corner, but I didn't have any time to train with me for the fight. I didn't really know his style. And I watched him, and he's a ferocious fighter. I mean, the boy is dynamite, and he can be world champion, especially in this sport now, where you see these guys are fighting for world titles in 3 and 4 fights.
Yeah.
Think about that. Guys are coming out of MMA and fighting or boxing, and it isn't far-fetched to say that he could be fighting for a title. To be honest with you, he never lost that fight. It was a cut. I don't go by that. He was winning that fight. He had the guy he beat, dropped. But the truth is, though, when I say this to you, if I was with him a month before that, he had a different show again. The boy's explosive power, dynamite power, and I'm looking forward to working with him and guide him. I do believe Cody will be world champion.
That would be awesome. I love Cody.
I believe so. Cody is a hell of a fighter from what I've seen.
I've known him for years. Remarkable man, too. Not just that,
Yeah. Just so our audience knows, Cody Vital is our other guest here tonight, who is also a trailblazer in his own right as well, as he is the first sanctioned professional bare-knuckle boxer in California history. And he also has a seasoned background in MMA, and as well, he is the first bare-knuckle boxer to drop somebody. Is that correct, Cody?
That's correct. Even though after I dropped him, I hit him with one extra jab on the ground. I didn't know he's on the ground. The referee went and said, we can't count that. But I mean, it's like, it's like two-hand touch football, right? You tag somebody and somebody says, oh, you didn't tag me with 2 hands. I tagged him with 2 hands. So it is what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, congratulations on that, Cody.
Yeah, for real. Now, Bob,
Thank you very much.
And he's from our area. Yeah. How did Bobby? Before we get any further, your book, Bare Knuckle. I got to read that. Man, it is just your life's journey filled with God, laughter, motivation, testosterone, inspiration. I had a lump in my throat at one point. The book was absolutely phenomenal, and I think it's a must read for everyone. Now, I understand you guys are doing some sort of promotion with this.
we're going to go on. Cody will tell you what he's. But right now, that book is the #1 seller on Amazon right now. Out of 5 stars, you got 4.5 stars. It's amazing. Wow. I'm over the moon. You know, it's doing good. They're going to make a movie on it too. There's big movie producers right now, like 3 or 4 of them, ready to pull the green light. They're all, you know, they're out like an auction. They're all bidding one another. But it's all going to come to play. Thank God. You know.
That's awesome.
Yo, nobody deserves it more than you, brother.
Oh man, thank you, brother.
That is amazing.
You know, it's been a tough road, and I always wanted Fighters Underground to be above the ground sanctioned. You know, and I'm the original one. Me and Dave Philbin, I brought him in my world. You know what I mean? And I showed him my world. We put it together, and we hustled it. All the commissioners out in the country. Finally got a couple commissioners to take it on. But to be honest with you, bare-knuckle boxing has been here for years. It was here for hundreds of years before I was born. It'll be here way when I'm gone and dead. And it goes on all the time in this country. I fought the underground circuit. It was run by the mob groups, and I'm from California to New York. And for 11 years, I beat everybody they put in front of me. You know, I beat them all. I fought them all, and I thank God I got lucky. But see, I'm also a former boxing champion. I fought the best fighters in the world. You know, legends, Roy Jones Jr., James Toney, Adamek, Johnson. But none of those guys ever knocked me out. It was always a bullshit fight with a stock cut. See, in bare-knuckle boxing, the underground fights, they were more fair and square than boxing. Honest to God. Regular pro boxing is more corrupted and more fixed fights in these fights, and they will screw you in a heartbeat. I've been involved in fights. I'm not fighting the opponent. I'm fighting the judge, the referee, and everybody. There was so much against me going in. In underground fights, I've seen Latino Kings and the Crips and the Jamaican Bloods, the Irish Mafia, Russian Mafia, all in one place with judges, police officers, and attorneys in harmony, getting along, betting on fights. What an environment is. And as soon as you walk in the door, everybody's back in the world. But I've been in dangerous situations, and I've seen high and lows. Listen, it's like this here. I've wined and dined with kings and queens, and I slept in the alleyways of bums. I've had bacon beans. I've been up and down, high and low, but through it all, it's only my Lord Jesus that got me through it, guys, because I want to tell you something. And I've been in dark areas that even my shadow left me, but the Lord's light never did. Now, maybe I left the Lord's light many times, but his light never stopped shining for me. And that's what got me through life, brother. I had a hard life, overcome a lot of obstacles in life. But I tell you this one here, you'll never overcome something until you go through it. The only way you go through a fire is to walk right through it. Sometimes you can't walk around the fire. You got to go right into the belly of the beast. You got to take that bull by the horns. And when they tell you in life you can't do it, you smile and say, fuck off and go take it twice. Okay?
I got goosebumps listening to that, man.
Because the haters will always be haters, and your pals will be your pals. And pay no attention to the people saying about you, reading comments, because those kind of guys on a computer or a telephone, tough guy, the piss will run down their leg if they said it to your face. You know, so I don't pay no attention to all this shit. Like, I know this. Pay no attention to all the bullshit. Just stay focused. Keep your eye on the prize. That's why horse races, they have bridles. Not to look to the right or look to the left. They just stay focused and straight for ahead, the finish line. And we all have a book, guys. I got a book. But we all have it. Everybody individually is their own book. Don't leave any pages blank, boys. Live your life the way you want to live it. Don't have any regrets. I have no regrets. I lived a life like Braveheart. You know, he said, every man dies, but not every man really lives. You know, I lived the life, guys, that, you know, I'm a traveler. I'm a gypsy traveler. I work on the side of the road and places, and I up and poor and fighting in alleyways and for money for my family, and just seeing things you couldn't comprehend. It's insane. It's not even a movie. It's like a comic book. But there's only one Bobby Gunn, and that was me. And I'm the guy that had to carry that crown. And I'm glad I did it. Maybe I can inspire somebody. If I could do it, you can do it. Anybody can do it.
Now, I mean that. Now you have a very unique story that drew me in. It was that you have this traveler background.
Yep.
And I had no idea that existed in the U.S.
Oh yeah, it's a big deal. It's we're different. different people. Like, okay, all dogs are dogs, right? The canine bloodline, but there's different breeds. There's poodles, chihuahuas, and there's pit bulls. My people are pit bulls. We're bred, born fighting men. You know, and that's it. And good men. You know, and my grandfather. When I come over here to America, when I was a wee boy, turned pro for Don King. I was only 15 or 16, and he walked up to the old man, his hat, and he said, "Son, you're going over here to the States now." I said, "Yeah." "You remember something, boy?" I said, "What's that, Grandpa?" "Where you walk, the ground shakes to all men." That was the mentality I had. You know, and walk like a king, fight like a king. Never mind 10 Mike Tysons, I'd walk out and I'd fight right down the street. I wouldn't give two fucks because, you know, I fight from my heart and I fight for pride, my people. I'm a Scottish gypsy traveler. My mother was Irish gypsy traveler. I'm a thoroughbred, through and throughout. Good people. A lot of my people get painted. I'm tired of filling up with with the same brush. It ain't right. There's good and bad in all races of people. You know, you can't judge the entire race for a few bad apples. But in general, our people are good, hardworking people, quiet people. We go to church. You know, we love, you know, we just try to do right by our family and work hard. But there's a lot of hurdles to jump. Just who I am. A lot of races have been towards me in life. One time I went to Walt Disney World with my family, and they told me to leave. We don't want your people here. Honest to God. I said, "What?
Oh, no.
Your people."
Oh, my God.
My boy was a baby. It was embarrassing. Your people, yeah, you're kind. You're travelers. And in England, when Tyson Fury won the world title, Queen of England wouldn't recognize him because he's a gypsy. And he's born in England, British-born subject. And to this day, in parts of England, they'll say no dogs and no tinkers allowed. That's like calling the African American the N-word. To our people, pikeys, tinkers. That's a direct insult to us.
Oh, my God.
Imagine that. Honestly, to this day. And listen, I got one for you, boys. And there's a Walmart in Maryland 4 years ago. It said no gypsies allowed in the door. My hand to God.
Wow.
Now, that's pretty bad to do that to someone, you know. And there's different travelers. Gypsies, like there's Scottish ones, English ones, and Irish ones, and Welsh ones. I speak all the languages, all different languages, but we're proud people, and we believe. Fighting to me was like I was born into it. Literally in diapers, I was throwing jabs right at my dad. You know, my great grandfather was a champion. Old Black Bob. He was a monster, a great athlete. He knocked Jack Johnson's sparring partner, Chummy Banks. And my grandpa was a fight man. My uncles, all my cousins, all the Williams were killer fighters. And the Hiltons, they were world champions in Canada. And I idolized these people. They were immortals to me as a boy. And I just wanted to do it. And my father was tough on me. Yes, he was tough, but he wanted me to get out of that environment, you know, do better for myself in life. And to be honest with you, if it wasn't for me, old dad, I wouldn't be here talking to you today.
Now you say that. I hear you. The way your dad trained you would probably be considered abuse today.
Yeah, it would be. But you understand something? You're right. But let's go back to dogs real quick. You ever see a little Chihuahua puppies or babies? Look at this here. And okay, you see the little poodles? Look at real pit bulls, not these little fat dogs. The real ones I know, the Gator bloodline. They were killers. Okay, I got a little French bulldog right now. He's little backs. He's 12 years old. He looks like a little fat dog. I love my dogs, but what I'm saying is, them dogs, when they were their babies with their mother, they fight babies, you know, biting her, trying to get this aggressive, rough, and the mother would nip them, but she nipped them with love. I was loved, but he comes from a hard environment. And my dad would say to my mom, he's a champion, Jackie. That boy's a champion. I got to push him. And he did push me. I mean, when I did my road work, he'd be behind me in the car. I mean, maybe run you over, beeping the horn. I mean, you had to run your ass off. He was a killer street fighter, my old man. He was a rough and tumble guy, you know. You know, bite your nose, ear off. You know, the rough and tumble means anything goes. There's no rule book, you know. And my dad was a master that he taught me all the moves, and I had more share those fights too. You know, I had a lot of those fights, but I look back at the guys. I thank God for my dad and his tough upbringing, because if he didn't do that to me, I wouldn't be able to get out of those dark areas in life and have the toughness, the mentality, the push through, perseverance.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what he gave me.
Do you think that's part of the problem with today's society? We're not pushing hard enough? Maybe not that hard.
Well, and I think now if you scream at your kid, you can have an assault charge put on you.
That's true, Bobby.
That's true.
It's a whole different life now. Listen, manliness is really an extinct species now. A man would do you a favor and wouldn't talk about it. Now today they posted on Facebook that they do you a favor. Tell the world. A man would never come to you with a story about something. He in other words, if somebody was miscalling you, right? And if somebody comes with you and said, he said this about you and he said that about you, automatically you're going to say, well, how can he feel comfortable to talk so bad about me if you're my real friend? So I don't know. Remember, the man that comes to you with a story is just as bad as the story itself. But this is what a pal does. For instance, this guy was talking about you over here. You probably heard I took a slap off him. He's not your friend. He's not my friend. That's all you need to know. I don't thank you, my pal. That's a pal. See, a pal anymore is a rare thing. You don't have proper manliness anymore. The kids don't say yes, sir, no, ma'am, yes, ma'am, no, sir. There's no respect in a culture today for anymore. And literally, men have forgot their ways and women have too. They used to be more proud and have respect for themselves. That's one thing my culture has done. We've kept that respect. They're our own people. We kept our morals. And it's hard. Not all of them have, but a lot of them have.
Yeah, I'm absolutely fascinated with your actual community, the traveler community, because I do see so much respect in it, just from even your book and taking care of like the elderly and how the men are blue collar hard workers.
Oh yeah, this is no education, my pal. I was still out of school too, in grade 2. The teacher in Canada, he hit my hand with a ruler. He thought I was cheating, right? And he hit me again. So the third time I hit it right in the nose, and so they told me in the principal room. So my dad come down and he says, no, you have to take him home. There's no place here for him. And that's the God's truth. I can read anything, but I can't write, my pal. I can't write. I can't spell right, but I can read anything. And how I learned to read was reading the Bible and reading boxing magazines. That's the God's truth.
Wow.
That's awesome. That's
awesome.
incredible.
Yeah.
That's insane.
There you go, Cody, my man. There you go. Yes. So your faith is also, I am also a Christian.
Same.
Your faith is very inspiring in the book and just in the videos and everything. Is it true you really do talk to other fighters about it?
Oh, yeah. Listen, I would say this to anybody, whatever faith you are in life, right? Whatever faith you are, be the best of it you can and love it all your heart. But the Lord Jesus did say these words here. He says, your religion is meaningless if you don't have love and forgiveness. Now, forgiveness is a hard thing. Now, listen, boys. There's 2 things in life a man will forget: acts of kindness and acts of wickedness. You can remember when you was a kid who was nice to you and who was being good to you. It's just we can remember. That's an old bastard over there, or he was a good guy. You remember these things. But do we forgive? Forgive is a very hard thing. I've had people on the internet, people that I knew, say horrible things about my mother. My poor mother's dead. My mother was a pure gypsy woman. She was a good woman. And they'll talk bad about my mother, my little wife, my girl. And I could destroy them. I could take their jaw, rip it off the hinges if I wanted to. But I let God deal with it, because just forgive them, because I believe by doing that, the Lord will bless you more. The Lord exalts the humble and meek, but he detests a proud look. I don't like these guys say I'm the best. I don't like that shit. I don't. That was never my deal. I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, I was the best at what I done, and I know that, and I mastered it. I'm going to be honest with you. In my time, I was the best, but I'm not going to keep promoting that. I let my actions speak louder than words. My record, my legacy, the world knows me for a reason. You know, because you know, and I paid my dues. I paid the price for blood. Fighting was my game, and blood was my trade. So I've been a wee boy. I was born and molded to be a fighting man, and I come from a rough upbringing. My upbringing would make the American ghettos look like a Holiday Inn. You know, nothing. Good old
Yeah,
camel.
exactly.
That's the God truth.
Yeah.
That's the God truth.
And you, I believe in the book, it was your first fight was at 11, but you were being trained by 5 years old. Is that correct?
Yeah. My father all my life fighting, going to the amateur fights. And my father would come home some nights, you know, with the high beams on. And when the high beams come into the old RV park, and when I see these parks were dark. They were just an evil atmosphere of them. I never did feel comfortable. A lot of just rough areas, pal. You know, are the old motels. See, Niagara Falls, Canada, was a place that was right a border town. There was like a filter for things that come over the border, like alcohol and drugs and prostitutions, and it was a bad environment. Like you see these lovely falls, but the 2 streets over is the worstest ghetto in the world. Oh, yeah. I mean, worse than Philadelphia, Newark, Detroit, New York. Yeah, believe me, nightmare. And we lived mostly there, you know, around that environment. And it also was controlled by the mob, the Italian mafia, all through in there. And my dad would go to the bar with these guys, and he said, I know, I'll make a bet you this boy can beat a boy can beat me. Come on. And they come back and they put money up, and then they look at me and start laughing. I'm not doing it. Dad, so you're chicken. I'll kill him. But they were just punching bags. You know what I mean? They weren't, because I wasn't a normal 11-year-old. You understand? I was an assassin. I was trained like a pit bulldog to fight. And it was his target practice. But my dad, as crazy as it was sound, he would say, what a right we gadge you. We gadge you. We gadge you means a right wee man in my language, in the Scotch talk. Right wee gadge. And that word to me was like, I won the Super Bowl. You know, it justified all the hard praises that would look like abuse. It would look like this ain't normal. And understand, it wasn't normal. I would never let, my boy was a top, number 9 in the world in super middleweights. And he retired at 23. He got married, my wee boy did. I'm happy he did. He was undefeated, but I never had my boy where I come from. Yeah, I never would let my boy. I get my boy what I could. But saying that, my boy got, you know, he got civilized. I mean, like he was more civilized than me. The comfort of life that I come from that animal background. I still got that animal. Like, to be honest with you, honest to God, Cody tell you, I wanted to fight some of the guys the other night. I honest to God, I think that today I can beat them. I swear to God I do. And I still have that inside me. You know what I mean? And I want to fight, but that I have inside me is like a tiger. It just won't go away. It's a burning desire. I love fighting, boys. I love it.
Now,
Bobby, let me say something here quick.
Go ahead.
Bobby mentioned the word civilized. Bobby said his son is civilized. Listen, I'm 35 years old. His son retired when he was 23. I'm 35 years old. Bobby's 51, right?
Yeah.
Bobby could easily, in a street fight or in bare knuckle, beat anybody on the planet because the man is calm, he's confident, and he's concentrated. And this isn't like, it's called bare knuckle fighting, but this is an art. You can be the toughest guy in the world, but if you have brittle hands, you'll hurt him. Yep. You can be the toughest guy in the world, but if you don't move your head, you're now a leader. And you can have the best cardio, but if you're bleeding, that blood is carrying oxygen. So I want to say this about civilization, about being civilized. I'm 35 years old. I have a son. I live in Orange County, California, one of the most expensive places on earth to live. It's nice and sunny all the time. I have my own business.
Yeah.
Do you think I'm civilized? I would rather have the gypsy lifestyle he has, where I'm fighting frequently and I'm winning because I love to fight and win. Yes, I'd rather have that dignity. I'd rather have that self-worth than you give me millions of dollars, because look what it does to the Conor McGregor's. No disrespect, Conor McGregor is now one of my bosses because he bought into BKFC. Yeah. But look at what the fame and the fortune does to the desire in a man.
Absolutely.
It doesn't do that to Bobby, and it doesn't do that to me.
Distraction. And I've had so much money to blow your mind at times in life, and but I know one thing: money don't make it. I remember years ago I was driving with my grandpa, right? And we're driving down the street, and I was a little bit 12 years old. I'm driving the truck for him. I wasn't supposed to drive, but I used to drive. We boy, you know. And we're coming home from work, and Grandpa, a guy pulls beside us, a Corvette car. I said, Grandpa, I said, look at that one. Look at that. What a car, I says. What a car. And the old man went, yeah. Did you see the man driving the car? I looked again. Look, it was like a little Pee Wee Herman. He went, see, boy, you think the man made the car. He said, it was a car that made the man there, buddy. He says, you want to be the man that makes the car. And I'll never forget that.
Wow.
And that's the God's truth. He told me that. And, you know, you got to, in life, money don't make you. Don't make you a better person. Money's paper. It'll give you leverage. It'll give you more things to buy. But really, what are you getting? Are you buying? Do you have all the friends money can buy? Or do you got pals?
Oh.
See, in the movie Young Guns, there was one true statement in that movie. Billy Wesley played Billy the Kid. You know, he says, remember at the end of the movie, he got shot and killed by Pat Garrett. Who once was his friend, but he wasn't. But his two other guys was wanted dead on sight. They snuck back in the grave, and they wrote "Pals for Life." And if you look up the word "pal," it's from my people. The gypsies made that. Yeah, Google it. Yeah, right, Cody? No, you Google it. Yeah, I was gone.
Pals is a gypsy term.
Yeah, how's it going?
That's awesome.
It's crazy, eh? Crazy.
Yeah.
But I'm dude.
Now I do want to switch gears here a little bit. So the bare knuckle boxing is legal now. Do you how do you deal with like the stigma? Okay. First of all, I remember in the book it's actually safe. You said it was safer than regular boxing.
Yeah, way safer. And I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
You take my hand here, right? And you put gauze on it and wrap it like a pro boxer hand. Now it's like a cast. You put that 10-ounce glove on, and they skin that glove real tight. They put that leather back and they skin it with a lace. They don't tell you that. And they tape it. Now that's like a weapon. Bang! You throw hard as you can. Now take it all the way. Take that all the way. It's naked. Pick your shots. Only hit 30-40% power. Mostly body shots. I don't minimum body shots more because I don't want to break my hand. But it's all. Listen, in bare knuckle boxing, I think in history there's been accountable maybe 2 fighters that died. And boxing, man, what do you have? 16 to 25 fighters every year dies. That's a big difference, isn't it? That tells you all you want to know.
Huge difference.
That's all you want to know. You know, I got more I got more damage and cuts and broke hands than boxing. I hear it in bare knuckle. Wow. It's a different game. Bare knuckle boxing is not boxing by any shape or form. It's a whole different game. I've seen bum bare knuckle fighters knock out top world ranked fighters trying to make money on the side. And it's a whole different. See, boxing is different. But bare knuckle, you roll, you slip. It's the way he moves it. You know, your hands are a catcher's mitt. You catch the hand there, slip, roll. You go into a turtle, your shoulders, inside, bing, bing, just little shots, ding, 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 ding. Little shots to cut them all up. A whole different game than boxing. And I mastered it. I feel better because I wasn't fighting the referees and the judges. I had a fair go. You know, and how I fought was winner take all. Each man puts the first up, and you can't go home a loser. If you do, you go down 5 cents in your pocket. You got to win. And those fights, there's no rounds, pal. I fought fights winning like 35, 40 minutes. You know, that's a long time. Listen, 10 minutes of bare knuckle boxing is eternity with no rounds. I done it many times. Whole different ballgame. You know how to pace yourself.
Yeah. Now, I personally see bare knuckle getting bigger than regular boxing. I personally do.
I think so now.
Yeah. Are they, the rounds are shorter, right?
Yeah, 200 rounds, yeah. I'll be honest with you. I'm so happy it's doing good, but it's not it ain't what really makes a real man today. These 2-minute rounds and, you know, the rules they got, it's all fine. They gotta compromise with the commissions and see the wrap of your wrist. That's such bullshit. That doesn't do anything at all. Honestly, God, that's so stupid, wrapping your wrist. Cody, did that do anything for your wrist? It probably hurt your hand more.
Actually, this is the only part where I'll probably disagree. Is I had the ability to tape my wrists tighter. I had surgery on my right hand, and so my left hand was fine. So I believe what you're saying is true for my left hand, but for my right hand, I had surgery on my wrist a while ago, so I had some bones
You got a bad
removed.
wrist,
Yeah, and so I feel like next time I'll have this wrist tight, and this one will stay loose, and I'll use my left hand a lot more anyway because my left hand is stronger. Even though I'm a righty, and I'll jab a lot more, and I'll do 40-50% like you were saying. But with that said, I went out there, I didn't listen to anything Bobby said on terms of power, and I just went full bore. And you guys got to realize power is mass times velocity. Power is mass times velocity. So when you have a boxing glove on or even an MMA glove, that extra weight is going to become a weapon, right?
Yeah.
I went out there and I literally injured my hand on this guy's head, and I couldn't use it anymore. And the referee stopped it to a cut. But with that said, it's a learning lesson. It's a learning lesson. And Bobby's absolutely right. Training with Bobby, I'm gonna pick my shots better. I'm gonna move my feet more. I'm gonna move my head more. I'm gonna remain more calm, more confident, and more concentrated on conquering the man the way he should be conquered. It's not like I said to Bobby today. Bare knuckle fighting is a fight, but it's not a fight. It's an art. It's an art. It's an art because there's a proper way to do it, and it takes a proper man that's done it long enough to train someone like me to take the killer instinct I have, because my emotions were controlled. My emotions were fine. That killer instinct, though, when it said kill, I went for the kill, and y'all saw the result. So I think no disrespect to my opponent, I respect him at 10 out of 10 times I beat him. I think I beat anybody, and Bobby believes that. Bobby's saying that. So we'll talk more about how Bobby and I met. But
also your right wrist, I'll fix your right wrist so you'll never have the problems with it. I'm just going to drink that.
I'm just going to shut up there, but thank you guys. I don't know if I answered your question. What was your question again?
Pretty good.
Yeah, you guys answered the question. It was about the stigma of it, I believe that was
the stigma. Well, put it this way, man. People say that they're afraid of blood and whatnot, but how many people watch horror movies, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Sports people are shit on constantly. Here's why. Fighters are shit on by society because society is fucking cowardly. Here's how you know this. Oh, you can't have a fight. But we're going to put sex and pornography. We're going to put pornography and violence in every fucking movie. We're going to corrupt your kids. But how dare your kids do something honorable like have a proper fight?
Yep. Yeah.
And they also say testosterone is no good anymore. Testosterone is a bad thing. There's too much testosterone out there and everything like that. It just makes me sick.
If you in my community, we'd rather you go and have an old fight than take guns or knives. We program like that's a cowardly way to do things.
Yep.
And then put the kids' heads. Too bad everybody else wouldn't do that same thing too. Maybe stop a lot of violence within the communities.
Anybody with a finger can pull a trigger.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to these days. Now nobody wants to fight anymore. They want to pull a gun right away.
Yeah, they're too pretty.
Yeah. Or call the police, right?
Or call the police. Yeah, that's the other thing.
Yeah. So now you had Bobby, an accident that changed the way you had to fight. How did you overcome that mentally, spiritually? How did you see down the road through that incident?
I fell off a two-story roof, painting the roof in 2001. Wow. I was going head first to cement. It was 2 stories, and the Lord, I don't know how I landed. I landed on my feet like this, bang. And my back, I broke 2 bones in my back. I gets up, and my foot was like squishy. The blood, my heel shot out of my toes. The heel disintegrated. Well, this is here now. Nobody knows this. It's the God's truth. So, I takes the bungee cord. I ties the old foot off to stop the blood coming out. I couldn't get no ambulance. It was hard. Waiting. And I was really in pain. Finally, the ambulance goes to the hospital, and my wife comes in, and the doctor said, we're going to have to amputate the foot. The infection's getting in. It's God's truth. I said, there'll be no amputation here at all now. I said, no, not at all. I said, take this shit on my arm. I put this on my arm. I take me out of the hospital. This is a butcher place. I go somewhere else. And so I goes in to John Hopkins. Literally, in a hospital gown. I walks and I said, I need help here. I'm in bad shape. It was God. A man said, he said, who are you? I said, I'm Bobby Gunn, sir. I got a bad problem in my old leg here. My foot is, he said, my name is Dr. Brody. I'm the #1 bone doctor here. I do all the Baltimore Ravens, everybody. He says, it's pretty bad. He said, I'll save it, but you'll never walk right again in life. Now, watch this now. He put 3 metal plates on the side of my foot, 28 screws and nails, and a 6-inch screw going up on my heel, like to make a heel with plastic. Now, my right foot turns like this, my left foot just does that. All different. Now, whole different style. Right? So they said I would never walk right, never run. 2 months later, I was in the gym sparring. Honest to God, with the pain. Wow. And I had it, the bolt comes out sometimes this day. I take an old pair of pliers, I got to tighten it back in.
They just don't make men like you anymore.
The bolt comes out of my back heel like this, like that, and I got to tighten it because I never did get the operation to take it out. You know, I have to tighten it sometimes. And so it's tough and sore. But I when I come back,
what
you understand? I won the world title in boxing. I fought at the best. I did this with a handicap.
Yeah.
And I should have been dead. I should have been dead. You know, I should have been dead. But God had me for a reason. But all I'm saying to you, in life, I've been told a lot of things. You know, I remember my mom. My mom was a beautiful woman. My mom was a pure traveler woman. They call her the Irish princess. She was gorgeous. And my dad stole her, okay, when he got her. He's the biggest heist in the world. The old man was a rough old, looked like a silverback griddle, my dad. He was just a big man, rough man. But anyways, she'd fight in a minute. She'd put her butt up and she'd throw down. She'd fight any woman going. She'd punch the head out. She was game in his own, right? But my mom fell in black ice. You know what black ice is?
Yep.
You know, it's you don't see it. But when she fell, you ever see like, remember the Christmas Story, the little kids movie? Remember he stuck his tongue on the middle? The tongue stuck to the middle? My mother's face stuck to the black ice. Imagine that pain. She laid there for 1 hour. She broke her hip to the ground. Now watch this now. There's no cell phones back then. This is 1988. You know, there's no cell phones back then. We don't know where mom is. She went to bingo. That's all we thought. We're nervous. And finally we get a call about 12 o'clock at night. She's in the hospital. We goes down, me and dad. And she had bad pain and poor thing, but they give my mother bad blood. They never screen the blood.
Oh.
It went like cancers all through her body. And they give her 6 months to live. The old girl fought for 3.5 years. And my mom was crying before she died, right? I said, don't cry, Mom. I said, I'm going to be okay. I remember this. My dad was rough. Like, you remember you think of child abuse, and he was tough on her. But this is what she said. I'm not worried about you. I know you will. I'm worried about him. He's the eyes of my life. See, we didn't have much. We had no money. We had love. I remember being so poor that I put water in my cereal. I didn't have milk as a kid. I remember being so embarrassed of my clothes. And some of the kids that had money, they let you know they had money. You understand? They rub it in your face. And I remember them stopping at my hotel and just want to see it, just to belittle me, embarrass me. And my father was maybe on a bad drunk this time, and he just didn't look good. And I remember my mom told me, she said, you'll be a champ. You'll be a champ, she says. You get out of this. Push hard. That's why, my pal, I'm thankful for my dad. Because if he never gave me the hard upbringing, I would never got out of that. You know, I might have been in that environment for life. I got out of that. And I try to tell people this all the time. You got to fight your ass off for something you believe in and something you want. Nobody can do it for you. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink it. You know, you got to do it yourself, and you can't blame nobody for anything that goes along the line. If you have a hiccup in life, you come across a hurdle, you got to jump, a back stumble, a setback. Listen, like a real cowboy up, get back in that horse and ride that fucker again. Keep on going down the road, because if you don't, I promise you'll regret it if you don't fight your hardest for something you want to believe. Believe in something is faith. Faith, listen, I don't see the Lord, but I know he's there. I know he is. I've seen different things. I don't see the air in the truck, but I feel it blowing on my skin. I know it's there. Okay? The most important thing in the Bible, I believe, is obedience to the Lord. But obedience to yourself. Stay healthy. Obedience to be a good person. Obedience not to miscall someone behind their back or kick them when they're down. Help them out. Give them $1 or $2 and don't talk about it. Obedience to be a good husband, a good man, good father. Obedience to get up every morning and do a job you don't want to do, you fucking hate it, but it puts some food on the table. Obedience. Obedience is the most important thing in life for anybody, I believe.
You've hit on.
Why couldn't we get this guy sooner? I mean, Bobby Gunn is shit.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Thank you, man.
You are an incredible man.
Oh man, this is so awesome.
I want to go step in a ring
right
right now.
Let me answer that, guys.
Absolutely, Cody.
Yeah.
Bobby says he doesn't see God. I could tell you a couple of times in my life where I've seen the light of God, and I even have it on video, and I'll share that video with you guys here after we're done here.
Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
No,
I was getting.
I mean, I don't see him like. I mean, I know he's there. I have faith in him. I mean, I know I see him different ways. But I don't see him right in front of me, but he's there. That's what I meant.
Well, listen to this answer, Bobby. This is honest to God here. When we're at the press conference, I was getting interviewed, and during the interview, I started talking about my business. And my roommate and my girlfriend, my lover, they're standing next to each other. They both kind of they micromanage me for a good reason, because I'm like a lot like you, Bobby. We're honest, and when honest people talk, they talk at length and they say everything on their mind, and people take advantage of that. And a lot of times we end up shooting ourselves in the foot without realizing it, right? But here it is. There's a level of innocence that comes with that. And children are born in this world innocent, they're pure, they're enthusiastic, and they're passionate for life. And God's greatest gifts on this earth are children. And so you have this innocence to you, even though you could destroy anybody put in front of you, you have this innocence to you. And I'm telling you that when my girlfriend and my roommate saw me talking about my business in an interview, they pulled me aside and said, "Stop talking about your business. Focus on fighting. Focus on fighting." And I said, "You're right. I'm making the mental shift right here, right now. I'm only focused on fighting." As soon as I said that, somebody from BKFC walked up to me and they said, "Hey, you see those double doors there?" I said, "Yeah." They said, "You want to see the arena you're fighting in?" I said, "Yeah." They go, "Walk through those doors right now." I walked through those doors and I was in the auditorium, and I realized that the auditorium that we were going to fight in, the orchestra we were going to fight in, I was actually on that stage with Phil Anselmo of Pantera, singing with the band called Superjoint. Pantera was my favorite band growing up. Phil Anselmo was my favorite singer.
Same.
And this was on Halloween of 2015. And I was backstage with all the other musicians. Now, Phil wasn't trying to get me to do it, but all the other musicians were drawing upside down crosses on their forehead with black lipstick. And it said, "Oh, hey, Vital, you do it." I said, "Nah, I'm not doing that." Right? Phil, I never saw him again after that. Right? Kind of ironic. So check this out. I walk out of the auditorium, back into the press conference, and I walk right into you. And you ask me a question, and I go, "You look familiar. What's your name?" And you go, "Bobby Gunn." I go, "Bobby Gunn! I didn't recognize you with the hat on. Oh, my God." Right? I made that mental shift. And you looked at me, you go, "Listen, son, you got this glow about you. You know, I know what I'm talking about. I see it. I see something. I see something in somebody, and I see it in you. You're a future champion. You're a future champion." You didn't leave my side for those days. You didn't leave my side for those. Bobby could have gotten all the notoriety, all the videos, all the photos he wants to. Bobby stayed by my side and learned about me, and I learned about him. And he said, "God gives to those that give." And I'm telling you right here, right now, God gave me you that day, and I saw God in you. So yeah, I see God.
Thank you, Melissa. Thank you, Cody. Thank you very much, guys. I thank you. Listen, this life, you go through hurdles of life, and sometimes your luck is all you, and sometimes it ain't. And money can be a major problem through life sometimes. And like right now, I'm being tortured financially, but things are going to look up real good soon. But you have to listen sometimes and focus, like you said, is the most important thing. There's a man, boys. Okay, I told Cody this story. There's a man who goes to church, a young man. He says, Pastor, I got to leave the church. I can't focus. I can't take it no more. I can't listen. There's a woman dressed very not right in front of the church. There's men over here talking about their worldly deals and affairs and things they should be talking to church. They're swearing over there. I can't take it. I got to go. He went, son, you need to focus on the word of God, son. He said, Pastor, I'm distracted. I don't feel right. I got to leave. He's okay, son. You got to leave, he says. I understand. Will you do me a favor before you leave, he says. And what's that? He would give me a glass of water. You know, okay, Pastor, I'll give you a glass of water. He goes to sink in the church. He comes back. He'll do me humor an old pastor. He says, you're leaving. I might not see you again, son, but I'll pray for you. Pray for me too. He says, do me one more favor. Walk around this church, the four corners, with that glass of water and don't spill a drop now. Are you joking? No, I mean, yeah, we're not this. I'm asking you, an old man, we do for you. And okay, Pastor. He walks the four corners, this cup of water. He watches it, and no drops spilling. He comes back to the pastor. He says, Pastor, here it is. He went, okay, did you spill anything? He said, no. Did you sure? Why? Well, I was watching. I was concentrating. He went, bingo. You were concentrating on that. Concentrate on something in life that's important to you, that's going to benefit you better, the financially better for your family, better things for your life. Concentrate on that and go full-heartedly and don't get distracted, because the devil in life will throw a lot of things your path. The word of God says, do not give the devil a foothold. Foothold is your door. He's a deceiver. He's a liar. He'll come to you with family members. Sometimes family members can cut you to the bone harder than your worst enemy. Okay? Mm-hmm. You don't believe it, but stay focused. And I promise you, he says, I'll never leave you. I'll never forsake you. He was a man amongst men, boys. Pontius Pilate stood before him. He was beat to death. The flesh ripped off his bones. It was nine cattails. It was thick and ripped the skin back when they whipped him. He wasn't a normal man, boys. He wasn't a poor little wee guy you see at the cross, skinny. When he went in the building where he flipped those tables over, they weighed 800 to 1,000 pounds, boys, on the Roman archives. Like he flipped them like paper. But he stood in front of Pontius Pilate, beat to death. Now listen to this. And he had a crown of thorns on his head. They pushed in his skull, 6-inch thorns, that blood pouring on. And they throw the robe on him. It was all with salt sands and open wounds. Now think about this. And Pontius Pilate said, I have the power to give you life or condemn you to death. And what did he say, boys? What a man. What a man. He says, you have no power over me whatsoever at all. It wasn't given from above. In other words, you poor wee jack off. Who are you talking to here? I'll give him my life. What a man he was, boys. He picked that cross. He walked up that hill. That cross weighed 1,000 pounds. And listen, he did it for us. Now, he was a proper man. He was okay. Yeah, a lot of good men. A lot of good men. And try to do the best you can. Be a proper man in life. A proper man, that word is something that's used too easily. A proper man is not a bully. A proper man's a good man. A proper man's a bully slayer. He don't like bullies. A proper man, again, I told you, would take $1 in his pocket and give it to you if you needed it. Wouldn't talk about it. I've given so much money in my life to different people. I don't mention names. I thank God I did. I do it again. Because I know what it is myself to be in positions where you don't have it on you. I've walked down the roads without $1 in my pocket. And the world going by and saying, I'm a world champ. My God, what's going on here? Why am I being tortured in life? Why am I going through a situation right now? But the Lord is with me, and He vindicated me. And listen, stay focused. Don't get off track. Keep your eye on the prize, whatever prize it be in life. Stay focused on that and get it done.
Now, you don't only just preach this. People have witnessed you even giving money to people on the street out of your purses right after a fight.
Yeah, I did. I do. One time I fight this guy, and he came out to fight me. It's like $5,000, winner take all. Each guy $5,000. Fighting a warehouse in New York City, and he comes up, big game guy comes up, and he looks out the window. He puts his money. He's warming up. He runs over to the window. He looks at the window. I'm looking like this. I'm fighting him, moving around, tough kid. Bang, I dropped the right hand. Bang, he's down. He gets up. He runs over to the window. I says, does he got a gang out there going to come and try to raid me here after I beat him? I said, what's going on here? I'm thinking like in my mind. And he went, come on, champ. And he's swinging hard at me. And I hit him, bang, bang. Double left the right hand, knocked him down. He started crying. I don't mean whimpering, but tears running in his eyes. So listen now. He ran over to the window. He had 3 wee babies in the car. He had nobody to watch them, his kids. He went and borrowed the money of a loan shark. And he come down and he gave enough, boy, proper man. He thought he had a chance to win. So I give him back his full 5,000, you know. I give him back his money. That man was a proper man. He's fighting for his family. People say, okay, you will get a job. Okay, you might get a job next week, but that ain't paying the bills today.
Right.
Today, them kids are hungry. Today, he needs money. Now, a lot of people that go to church, and churchgoers, if you're broke down the side of the road, they would pretend they didn't see you, turn their head, but yet speak in church and act like they speak tongues. Just because they're a holy road, I don't mean they got God in their heart.
That's true.
Yeah.
Actions speak louder than words, you know? Listen, a lot of ones come to you. Listen, the Bible says there's a lot of wolves in sheep clothing. A lot of people pretend. God said these words. He says, don't be like the hypocrites, for they love to jump up and down and speak my name. He says, when you pray, go in your closet and do it in secret, and I will reward you openly. These guys will tell you all about prey on you, judge you. It's easy for a man to tell you what you should do when he's already set very comfortably in life. But he's not giving you advice when he was coming up. It'd be different advice. Do what you got to do. Do what you think is right in your heart. Try to be the best you can. And I promise you'll get what you want to do in life. Because God's good to me. I did a lot of things in life. I never thought this boy here would have a book about me. I never thought I'd be a world champion. I never thought I'd be having a movie coming out about me. I never thought in my life. It's like a dream, you know, and I knew that I could do it. I never thought it would happen. And remember, God's never late and he's never early. He comes just in time.
Yeah.
Bobby.
Just time.
Yes,
Bobby,
sir.
there's a quote that I have, and I want everybody to remember this for the rest of your lives. I made this up, and I'm taking rightful ownership of this, okay? It's this simple. To live a dream of a life.
Amen.
I like it.
To live a dream of a life.
Amen. And, you know, amen. And also to get that life. When I come over, I told you I can't write, but I had a buddy write this down for me. I memorized it. I says, in order for me to achieve my goals in life, I remember I was 15 years old. I made this up. I must endure things and go through things I wouldn't wish on my own worst enemy. And after all that and a whole lot more, I might get to my goal and achieve it at the end. And boys, everything I said, I prophesied. I went through living hell to get where I got to go. I mean, I've been deprived of world championship fights with a cut in my nose. You think I care about how? Look, I have no nose. The nose, I don't care about my nose getting cut. You know, I shave with no soap, boys. It's raw. My skin's like leather. I don't care about all spuds in the face. And I've had fights where the referees up there went, go back to America, you fucking gypsy. My hand to God. And the odds were against me. But listen, it is what it is. Because they know in the boxing, anybody lost the boxing, they know in the street, they wouldn't last 5 minutes in my fucking world. And I was a champ. I was a world cruiserweight boxing champion too. And I love boxing, but it's a very corrupted business. And they all talk about Don King. They're all Don Kings. They're all Don. The Don was a world Don paid me. Don paid me. They all run Don King down. Don King was better than them. How's that sound to you? It's a computerized monopoly game today, and the fight game is really it's a joke. I think that's why bare-knuckle boxing is so exciting, because it's a forbidden fruit, something you don't see. Like bare knuckles, everybody wants, old ladies want to watch, everyone wants to see this, but it's an opportunity for Cody right now. Get in there, and you can see these guys fighting for world titles in 4 and 5 fights. That's just happening. They're winning titles in 4 or 5 fights. Where I had that 100 to get a shot, and then It's a great opportunity for Cody because you guarantee he'll fight for a title to win it. I believe he will, and he knows in his heart, but he's got to do it himself. I can't do it for him, and I wouldn't mess with him if I didn't think he could do it. I put my name on him. I stamped it. I think he'll be champion.
That you
I like
did.
the
You
new
called me
nickname he gave him.
shotgun. Shotgun with two ends.
Shotgun, I like that.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
that's good.
See, boys,
That's good.
I'll tell you about a fight like he had. Okay, why it don't mean nothing. A lot of my people they do cockfighting, the roosters. Which I hate that, but that's your kid, you're around, you see the cock, the rooster fighting. Anyways, an old man, he's fighting these roosters, and the bird's just about dead, and the bird loses, and he says, "Can I have that bird? It's gonna die." He went, "No, can I have it?" He went, "Yeah, you can have it." I said, "Uncle," I said, why'd you take that bird?" He went, "Son, it's not the bird to fight, it's the fight of the bird. I seen something there. And I'll tell you what he done. He took that bird, he brought it back to life, and he bred it. And that bird produced one of the finest fighting roosters you've ever seen. And it was he's seen something. I see something in Cody. And that's why, if you want to know why I'm getting involved, that's why. I see something, and I can help him do it. But it's this here, boys. A fighting man is a different breed of a man, different mentality thinking, different way all the way around. A fighter is a complex person. You can't figure them out. You might think we're serial killers, we're crazy, but we enjoy what we do. I would rather go to have a fight right now than walk in Walmart and buy a pair of blue jeans. That's the God's truth. That makes me more nervous. That's the God's truth. But I fear no man more of a mother, but I respect every man. You can't go by how somebody looks. I've seen guys, big fat guys, hit like a better shape than a guy who looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Looks to me is nothing. Have respect and never underestimate nobody. Keep your guard up high and watch what you're doing, and that's in life. Don't put your guard down because there's a lot of bastards out there. Brother, you don't realize the leeches I had around me all my life. They sucked money from me, and I knew they were doing a lot. And I have pals that I knew what they were all about. My father always said, figure the purse out, you'll figure the agenda out. And you always find a rat like this. You bait a rat, and the rat will take that bait back to the other rats, and you'll find out who the real rat is.
Mm-hmm.
So in life, there's very few guys that are proper guys that would do you. Boys, think about it. There's very few men left anymore. True. That word "man" is like a pronoun. I mean, a manly person. And so it's an extinct species.
Yeah.
I mean, you fellas are all proper men. I know that by talking to you, real men. But think about that in life. Like, okay. There's a woman in a Walmart on TV a year ago. She was robbed at 3:00 in the afternoon. There was 10 men in the parking lot, and not 10 men went and helped her.
That's ridiculous.
What happened to men? Men, come on, boys. There's no hold the door open for somebody. An old man, woman, open the door. How about have respect? You don't see it anymore. And that's the problem.
Yeah.
I want to say something here if it's okay.
Of course.
Yeah, go ahead.
So going into this fight, I had a lot of reasons to fight. Number one, I choose to respect myself. All that we do in this life first begins as a choice, right? It begins as thoughts, begins as a choice, it's an idea. So I choose to respect myself, but my own self-respect via choice only goes so far. Knowing that I'm a fighter, procrastinating fighting, hiding from fighting, whatever was going on in my mind for all these years, I have these injuries, etc. I've been marinating, right? I've been marinating for this opportunity. And I remember going into this fight thinking, I'm doing this for my son. I want my son throughout his entire life to know that his dad was a warrior, a champion, and that his dad is a winner. And I want that for him because I want my son to be better than me in every aspect. I want my son to be a better athlete than me. I want my son to be healthier than me. I want him to be a better businessman than me. I want him to be a better lover than me, a better father than me. I want him to be a better soul. child of God than me, because I didn't have that from my own dad. My grandfather who raised me, my mom's dad, his name was Bobby Vital. Okay. And there's a lot of comparisons here that I make to Bobby Gunn, Bobby G. And, you know, not having my actual dad as a close relationship, and part of that's my fault, I'll admit it. But not having my dad in my corner and pushing me to fight and just pushing me to be a better man, not having communication with my dad, you know, it was a silent battle I fought most of my life. And it wasn't until like I drank alcohol to where like those revelations came out. Like, oh, I don't have a relationship with my mom. I don't have a relationship with my dad, right? And so meeting Bobby Gunn, knowing who Bobby Gunn was before I met him, knowing his lineage, right? Knowing that his dad was there for him, it was like God was like, hey, Cody, I see what you want to do for your son. I'm going to give you Bobby Gunn. Now you have a son to fight for, and now you have a dad to fight for. And I looked at Bobby in the locker room. I looked at Bobby in the room before the fight, and I looked him in his eyes, and I said, "Thank you very much." I was on my hands and my knees. I said, "You're being a father to me right now, and that's all I ever needed." And I said, "Thank you so much. I wish you were my dad." And I gave him a hug. And you know, I got to admit this. After the fight, because I didn't win, I was like, "How do I go face Bobby? How do I go face Bobby?" And when I saw him, he was all smiles. He's like, I'm so proud of you. And I was just like, that was easy.
you fought your ass off. You fought your ass off. He did good. And listen, he laid his heart on the shield. And that's all a man can do. You know, listen, you got to come up short in life. You know, I was just fortunate in bare-knuckle boxing to be blessed beating all those guys, because when I was a top-notch fighter before I fought them, like, it was easy. Like, I fight a lot of, the local tough guys, or they brought in a pro fighter. I just had the upper hand on them because I just believed that I was the lion, the tiger, the king Mac Daddy of that business. And to beat me, they had to kill me. And that's how my attitude was. But the tough guys were never the guys that spoke real loud. It's not just a dog bark real loud. You get past that bark, that bite ain't that bad. It's the quiet ones that have something to say. And in life, amongst white people, I'll get calls from ones that maybe drinking or drunk and say horrible, insulting things to you, and then they'll apologize to you. But it's an old saying: a drunk man says what a sober man thinks.
Yeah,
the Bible's what's in their heart coming out of their mouth. And let me tell you something. And then I know that person's true agenda. But then you'll see a lot of ones like maybe want to fight with you or make a scene in front of a party or a shopping center, knowing there's 12 security guards and police officers all around.
And they're going to break it up.
That person has no intention of fighting. But see, a man wants to fight will say, "Hi, my pal. Let's walk in that field, me and how we talk." Yeah, that's a man. Yep. That's a man that I respect. You don't see that no more today. All you see, I'm going to get the police. All you call the police. God forgive me, man. I call them Nancy boys, like sissy asses. I mean, that's the worstest ones in the world anymore. And then tell you they're fighting men. Oh, God. Oh, how about this one? How about Miss Call, you lower the dog behind your back, but couldn't carry your jock strap? Okay, that's what you're dealing with, and a lot amongst my people is like that anymore. It's a disgrace. I don't miscall anybody. I was good at what I done, but in my people history, there's only been 6 boxing world champions, and here's how it goes alphabetical. It was Matthew Hilton, their cousin of mine, and his brother Davey Hilton from Canada, the Fighting Hiltons. You look them up. They're Scotch gypsies, okay? Then you had Tyson Fury, Andy Lee, Billy Joe Saunders, and it was Matthew Hilton. I'm sorry, I'll do it again. Matthew Hilton, Davey Hilton, me. I was a cruiserweight champion. Then Tyson Fury won the heavyweight title, Andy Lee, and Billy Joe Saunders. There's only been 6 world champion gypsies in the history of our people. And that's quite a thing considering where we come from. I never had training camps like the other guys had. I went to fight Roy Jones. I was shoveling asphalt all that day before the weigh-in. I goes away and trying the gloves on. And he's like, "What's this? All this the smell of gas and the shit in the gloves. It was me. It was all tar. I was trying to clean myself with a wipey. I had no corner. I didn't have no training for these fights.
Wow.
If I had the training, you know, it had been different. And I remember one time I was young, I was fighting in was it Napanee, out of Ottawa, sorry, Aaron Pryor, Ontario, Canada, out of Ottawa. It's never Aaron Pryor, I think it was. Anyways, I fight in a fight, and I was so embarrassed because my soles were coming off my shoes. I had no money for shoes, and I put duct tape around them, right? I was so embarrassed, and then this is how thankful I was for something so small. I see a black spray can. In my mind, I sprayed the gray paint, the gray tape, all black to match my shoes. I was, oh yes! And in I feel like I had a new pair of shoes on. I wouldn't win my fight. But what I'm saying to you, I was very happy for a lot less back then. The world we live in today is so high pace. People are so out of line anymore. The world's upside down. When I first got married, I bought a brand new truck for $14,000 cash. That same truck today, I'm married 30 years, is $75,000.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Price of living is $3,000, $4,000 a month for apartments.
Yep.
I remember 800. I got married. That was a big deal. So what I'm saying to you, the life and living is astronomical. Here's what it is now: either you're rich or you're poor. There's no in between.
It's true.
That's what it seems to be like anymore, you know. And but you know something? God says this. He says, Lord, don't make me rich, for I'll forget you. Don't make me poor, for I'll go and steal. But just let me be comfortable, Lord. I'd be happy and I praise you. And that's where I want to be. If I just be comfortable in life, a little bit of peace, my family, I'm a very wealthy man. When you got your health, boys, you're a healthy man. Your health cannot be bought or sold. It's God's given gift to you. When you got your loved ones, you can call and hug them. You're a wealthy man.
Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're incredible, Bobby.
This is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Now,
thank you.
I do have a question for you. Did you work with youth outreach efforts as well?
The homeless people and the kids and all that. I used to feed them a lot and get them. I go buy $1,000 and buy a bunch of blankets and coats, just give it to the poor buggers whenever I could. And you know, listen, the Bible says this too. Listen, I'm not a Bible, but I want to say the Bible says it says, give him wine that is a drunk. Don't deprive him, for he may forget his misery and he be happy. In other words, there's people out there, boys, are drug addicts, alcoholics. You ain't going to change them. So don't deprive them maybe $30, $40. Let the poor buggers do what they want to do it. Listen, we done our thing with God. We give. We don't have to worry what they're really going to do with it. All you could do is plant the seed. The Lord will make it grow if there's roots there to be grown. Yeah. Okay? And listen, I promise you this, give. Don't hold back. If you know someone needs something, give it to them. You'll get it back 100-fold. I've seen me do that. I swear to God, I didn't have $1 in my pocket. This is about 4 years ago. Besides where my truck broke down. I had no one would take my call. I was upset. I'm walking my little French bulldog at 900 degrees out. Watch this. Carrying my dog. Honest to God. I'm walking 2 miles down to get a garage open. A man pulls up me. He says, "Just hop in the car. It's too hot." And, you know, I said, "It can't be a shelter because I'm not a normal man to pick up. I look at a silverback ape. I mean, I'm not normal. you know this guy. He's not normal." But anyways, I get the car, my dog, and he says that he handed me $200. I never asked the man for $1. I said, no, he says, "Son, I want you to go and take that. Do what you got to do. God bless you." Now watch this. My part was exactly the truck to get fixed. It was like $200. I walked back miles with my dog. Truck breaks down again. Honest to God, the same day. 11 o'clock inside the road. I'm so disgusted. Honestly, I'm so disgusted. Man comes by again. Tows me downtown. Right? There's a boy called Justin Wells. and he had me driving by, and honestly, that's 8 o'clock in the morning. He waves at me, Bobby Gunn, what are you doing? I'm going to hop in the truck, my buddy. Go to work with me today, just like that.
Wow.
I went out to work that day, and I had my money back, and I got my truck fixed. See, God will pay you back. You can be in times you think there's no hope. But don't be the greedy Scrooge McDuck. Don't hold back in life. If you see some poor thing is in need, help them. Because, boys, I've been in need many times. And it's a wonderful thing when someone has a heart, generous heart. And I'm thankful to God. You know, there's a boy called Harry Gallagher, Irish traveler, who backed me up in life. And he put me on my feet. I owe that man an awful lot. I love him. His name is Harry Gallagher. And, boys, he's a proper man. And you know something? He don't talk about it. And he gets mad when you bring it up to him. He don't you tell nobody. That's a man. That's something that's a rare thing in life. And I want to tell you something. I appreciate that. I admire that so much. I respect it so much. And I try to be the best I can. And I told Cody this earlier on. In Edinburgh, Scotland, there's a poem on a wall from Bobby Burns. He says, life's a time you only borrow. You're here today and gone tomorrow. Like a wee snowdrop out of a wee river. You're here for a wee moment and you're gone forever. Life goes by quick. The Bible says, don't worry about tomorrow, for you do not know what a day may bring. Be thankful every day. And I promise you, just don't worry about all the future, all this like this. Yes, we have goals, and that's great and safe, but try to live your fullest every day and be thankful for what you got, because we're not promised tomorrow. None of us are.
You were just chock full of inspiration, man. You're incredible.
Have to ask you before we wrap up here. As you continue to build your legacy, because it is still growing, what do you hope people will remember most about you? Like, what do you want to be known for when it's all said and done?
Be a legend, right?
Already.
Well, you know,
well, yeah, I know, but I'm saying that's what he wants people to remember.
Thank you, boys. You know, love me or hate me, but you had to respect me because I fought. And I fought my heart, my sleeve. And I did it with only the Lord behind me. I had nobody behind me. My dad was in Canada. My dad wasn't with the fights over here in America. He'd show up sometimes, but I went in these fights by myself. I walked in a room with 300 men by myself because I'm a proper gunslinger. See, there's a difference. A Hollywood gunslinger is not a real gunslinger. Let me tell you why. The Hollywood gunslinger, boy, he looks the part. He's a big old Stetson hat, the pretty old guns in his side. He's got the holsters. He's got the cowboy boots. He looks the part, but he's got blanks in his guns.
Yep.
Okay, he's a Hollywood tough guy. What I mean by that, there's a lot of guys that pretend to be something they're not. I'm a real fighter. I'm a gunslinger, and a gunslingers, we don't retire. We just die. You know, I was born a fighting man, and I'll die a fighting man. And I'm proud of what I've done. And I thank God amongst my people all over the world, all the gypsy travelers, I love them all. And I ask them all to go closer to the Lord. Don't argue and fight one another. Don't scandalize one another. Try to be a better person and get along. And that's for all cultures out in life. And I want to be remembered for I was a good man.
You are, Bobby.
There's a song called I'm a Man You Don't Meet Every Day. It was Jock Sturdy says, fill up your glasses, the brandy and wine, whatever the price is, I'll pay. For be easy and free when you're sitting with me. I'm a man you don't meet every day. And I'm a man you don't meet. I'm a Bobby Gunn, boys. I'm original. You can't package me or sell me. And listen, many of you try to duplicate, but they'll never replicate. They're going to and that's me.
Yes, sir.
It's surreal. Like, it makes me feel like less of a man talking to Bobby. Right. I feel like from the conversation I've been having with you, Bobby, I feel like I need to do better in this life, and I need to live my life a little better.
And I do, and that's a great illustration that we all need to do better. Listen, most times we're two men. We're the man we are and the man we can be.
Yep.
Wow. Yes. We can always be better. We can always be better. But if we want it, again, do we want it? Right? I said earlier, you will never do something unless you want it. Right. If you want to do something, you do it. And that's it, boys. Life's a fight, whatever profession you're in. You're a dentist, doctor, plumber, you're going to have your fights through life, surviving, supporting your family. You're going to go, listen, curveballs are going to be thrown at you that you've never seen coming. And you'll say, I couldn't sit down with a pen and paper and write this worst script that it is in my life. I can't believe this. But that's when you have to close your eyes and trust in the Lord and lean on Him. And He'll direct your paths. And that's the truth, boys. Always listen to me. As sure as that sun rises tomorrow, if I never speak to you again in life, I want you to know I'm your pal. I do. And I thank you for having the show. As sure as that sun rises tomorrow, there's a God above. And those who think He's not, they're very foolish. And I tell you what, every man will stand and woman before Him on Judgment Day. I don't want to stand in front of Him and say, I judge you. I want to say, please, God, I fought the best I could. I did the best. Let me in. And I mean, listen, that's all you can do. It's be the best you can. Love your family full-heartedly and fight for what you believe in. And remember, this is what my dad always said. To all your pals, even if you're in the wrong, you'll be in the right in my eyes forever. Okay? When a pal's down, don't talk about him. Pick him up and put him on the ground and defend him. He's your pal. Yeah. And that's it.
Yeah. Bobby, you got 3 pals here, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Anytime.
I want to thank you. I want to thank you so much again for what you've done for me and coming on the show. It meant an awful lot to me.
It means the world does, Bobby. You practice what you preach. You mean what you say. And to all of us, man, that is a proper man.
You are a proper man.
You are a proper man.
I hope you become as proper as Bobby.
Can I come on again sometime, boys? To me, Cody, come on again sometime. I enjoy you an awful lot. The best show I've ever done.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I've got more questions, so yes.
That would be
lots more questions.
Round two.
I want to say something about the book before we end here.
Yeah.
This is just a taste of what's in it, guys. There's inspirational stories within stories, like Feldman's mom. Please don't get into it. Save it for who reads the book. There is so much more in this book than what we've talked about here. It is one of my top 10 books right now.
Wow. And you read a lot of books.
Yes,
you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Amazon, eBay, wherever you're getting your book, it's out there. Please grab a copy. But you will not regret a minute of it.
And Cody, are you still there, my friend? Cody, I know you have.
My book is Knuckle, written by Satan Bonner. Also, I want to give him credit because he come in my world and was game enough of him to come in my world.
Wow.
And be investigative journalist to see these fights, put his life on the line, and he done a wonderful job. But this is my life. It's my story. Everything in that book is true. And let me tell you something. A lot of it's a G-rated version. It could have been a lot more severe. I hold a lot of, I'm going to tell you, but I would tell you this: go and get the book, and it might do somebody. If you can take a page out of my book to better your life from my mistakes, please do. It's Bobby Gunn. My book is Knuckle, and you get this number 1 on Amazon. You go to any store in America, and I kindly ask anybody to go get it. She's a good old read, boys. You'll have a good old time.
Yes.
Thank you, Bobby.
And Cody, don't you have something going on with the book, don't you, brother?
Yeah, so here's the book right here, Bare Knuckle, the story of Bobby Gunn, written by Satan Bonner. And as you can see right here, it says Bobby Gunn, 73-0, undefeated bare-knuckle boxer, a dad, a dream, a fight like you've never seen. So Don Winslow at the top of this says, a remarkable story of triumph and heartbreak. So everybody that's watching this, if you order one of these books and you send a direct message to Huey, to Harper, or to Curry with a receipt of the book, you'll have 1 entry per every book you buy. So if you buy 5 books, you get 5 entries. The boys here from this podcast will literally write down your name as many times as you buy the book on video, put it into a hat. We're going to have a little shake and bake here in a week's time. So we got 7 days to do this. A little shake and bake here. At the end of those seven days, We're going to pull from that hat. The person that gets pulled from the hat is going to get an autographed signed book from Bobby, and we will bring you onto the podcast with Bobby Gunn next time we do it. Sound fair enough?
Wow,
Yes.
that's awesome.
That's incredible.
Yes.
Fair play, boys. Thank you. And Cody, I love you, my champ. I thank you so much. And boys, thank you so much for doing this for me. It means an awful lot. I'm very humbly gracious to you, and I want you to know that.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
We're
you.
grateful to
We
you
are-
too as well.
Feeling is definitely
very-
mutual, sir. I
yes.
mean, we're in your graces. You're not in ours.
Yes.
I just want to say, Bobby, I love you back. And thank you, everybody, for doing this. If you know of any other podcasts that want to have Bobby, I'm going to be helping Bobby out here with podcasts and with seminars. I'm going to have Bobby come out here in California to train me. Seriously, thinking about moving Bobby out here. I'm going to be doing a podcast with Bobby. We're going to create our own podcast for Bobby.
Awesome.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
That's
And
great.
so
That's a really
I want to
good idea.
monetize it. Bobby, I want to say this. What we think is what we create. Everything that we do in this life, whether we create it or we do it, it first begins as a thought. Bobby, you succeeded with the mentality that you had of being tough, of struggling. But as soon as you change that, like I've told you, change that mentality to a mentality of receiving. It's time to receive. It's time to receive. And as soon as you make that switch in your mind to receive, you are going to start receiving the abundance that is coming your way. Those struggles, those successes that you had, that was then. The struggles are gone now. It's time to just succeed and to have that peace of mind that you want. And I will leave it with this. This is called Talk About Purpose, right?
Yes.
Correct.
Here's one of the quotes that I made up. It's a formula I use in my coaching. I'm a hypnotherapist, certified hypnotherapist. I have my own business, Vital Visions, on Instagram, vital.visions, my last name, VIDAL.visions. Bobby Gunn trained with the great Customato, who trained Mike Tyson. Bobby Gunn used to have Customato put earphones on him at nighttime and play affirmations, okay? That's just one part of the hypnosis, right? That's just one part of the mental, spiritual training. I'm telling you this. This formula, if you apply it in any aspect of your life, is going to benefit you. Here it is, coming right out of my mouth, right out of my heart. Passion is purpose. Purpose is power. Power is prosperity, and prosperity is peace of mind.
Yeah, amen.
And when you have that peace of mind reminds you why you're passionate again. You cannot have peace without war, and you can't have war without peace as the main result.
Yeah.
That's why we do what we do. That's why we fight. Because inside, if we don't fight and we don't win what it is that we're after, we have no peace. And that's what the men of this world are missing. The men are missing a great war. Not a war against each other.
Yeah.
Not a war against ourselves. A war against the evil that wants to demoralize and devalue us.
Yeah.
That wants to separate us and cause us actual physical war.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that
Love
movie.
one another as I've loved you. That was the final
Yeah,
commandment of Christ Yeshua.
Well, Cody would tell you, boys, you have no idea how bad I was tortured today just to get this podcast. And the truck broke down. I had a big 5 starters. I mean, the enemy tried to hold me back, but listen, I got through. And I thank God I did. Because what a right podcast she is, boys. I'll tell you what, it's a good one.
Thanks, Bobby,
you
man.
so much,
I love
Bobby.
you, man.
Thank
you're
you, Bobby.
incredible.
we
And
love you.
thank you, Cody.
Yes.
You're very passionate, and I love everything you have to say too. When that podcast opens, feel free to invite us.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Take
yeah.
3 of us
He's
at
on,
once or whatever. Anything we
All right.
could do for you fellas.
I think he can take 3
Well,
of
yeah,
us
I know
at
that.
once. You know what I mean?
Hey, and if you guys are ever in Pennsylvania and you'd like to do a live podcast here with us,
In studio,
let
yeah.
us know right in the studio. We'll bring it right here. So
Yeah, thank you guys so
Thank
much.
you very much.
thank you very much.
God bless you, boys. And may the Lord
God
bless
bless-
all
God
you.
bless you.
Bless you all your ways. God bless you.
You
Same
too.
Hey,
Thanks,
once
sir.
you
as
start
well.
Thank you
recording
so
this,
much.
I'm gonna stick by. Once you stop recording, if you guys want to stick by and talk, I'm here.
All
Okay.
right. Yeah, we'll do that.
All right.
All right.
Well,
I think that's about
that's
it.
it. Our
Thank
editor
you.
will take care of the rest.
Thank you so much, Bobby.
Like, comment, and subscribe.